Hi everybody, happy Thursday. Today we get to start off at chapter 14, Cornelius Fudge. And I may or may not have taken a little sneak peek at some of the pictures coming up, and they're amazing. So I'm really excited. I just took a little picture walk, I didn't read ahead. Okay, if you're following along, chapter 14. Harry, Ron, and Hermione had always known that Hagrid had an unfortunate liking for large and monstrous creatures. During their first year at Hogwarts, he had tried to raise a dragon in his little wooden house, and it would be a long time before they forgot the giant three-headed dog he'd christened Fluffy. And if, as a boy, Hagrid had heard that a monster was hidden somewhere in the castle, Harry was sure that he'd have gone to any lengths for a glimpse of it. He probably thought it was a shame that the monster had been cooped up so long, and thought it deserved a chance to stretch its many legs. Harry could just imagine the 13-year-old Hagrid trying to fit a lead and a collar on it. A lead is like a leash. But he was equally certain that Hagrid would never have meant to kill anybody. Harry half wished he hadn't found out how to work Riddle's diary. Again and again, Ron and Hermione made him recount what he'd seen until he was heartily sick of telling them, and sick of the long, circular conversations that followed. "Riddle might have gotten the wrong person," said Hermione. "Maybe it was some other monster that was attacking people." "How many monsters do you think this place can hold?" Ron asked dully. "We always knew Hagrid had been expelled," said Harry miserably. "And the attacks must have stopped after Hagrid was kicked out. Otherwise, Riddle wouldn't have gotten his award." Ron tried a different track. "Riddle does sound like Percy. Who asked him to grass on Hagrid anyway?" "But the monster had killed someone, Ron," said Hermione. "And Riddle was going back to some Muggle orphanage if they closed Hogwarts," said Harry. "I don't blame him for wanting to stay here." Ron bit his lip and then said tentatively, "You met Hagrid down Knockturn Alley, didn't you, Harry?" "He was buying a flesh-eating slug repellent," said Harry quickly. The three of them fell silent. After a long pause, Hermione voiced the naughtiest question of all in a hesitant voice. "Do you think we should go and ask Hagrid about it all?" "That would be a cheerful visit," said Ron. "Hello, Hagrid. Have you been setting anything mad and hairy loose in the castle lately?" In the end, they decided that they wouldn't say anything to Hagrid unless there was another attack, and as more and more days went by with no whisper from the disembodied voice, they became hopeful that they would never need to talk to him about why he had been expelled. Disembodied means without a body. So, like the imaginary voice without a person. It was now nearly 4 months since Justin and Nearly Headless Nick had been petrified, and nearly everybody seemed to think that the attacker, whoever it was, had retired for good. Peeves had finally got bored of his "Oh Potter, you rotter" song. Ernie Macmillan asked Harry quite politely to pass the bucket of leaping toadstools in herbology one day, and in March, several of the mandrakes threw a loud and raucous party in the greenhouse 3. This made Professor Sprout very happy. The moment they start trying to move into each other's pots, we'll know they're fully mature," she told Harry. "Then we'll be able to revive those poor people in the hospital wing." "That's so cute, the mandrakes grow up and move into each other's flower pots. It's like they couple up." "That's so sweet." The second years were given something new to think about during their Easter holidays. The time had come to choose their subjects for the third year, a matter that Hermione, at least, took very seriously. "It could affect our whole future," she told Harry and Ron as they pored over lists of new subjects, marking them with ticks. "I just want to give up potions," said Harry. "We can't," said Ron gloomily. "We keep all our old subjects, or I'd have ditched Defense Against the Dark Arts." "But that's very important," said Hermione, shocked. "Not the way Lockhart teaches it," said Ron. "I haven't learned anything from him, except not to set pixies loose." I want to try to get the glare off. There you go. Go ahead and pause on this if you want. That might be my favorite picture from the whole lot of the book. It's amazing. Neville Longbottom had been sent letters from all the witches and wizards in his family, all giving him different advice on what to choose. Confused and worried, he sat reading the subject list with his tongue poking out, asking people whether they thought arithmancy sounded more difficult than study of ancient runes. Dean Thomas, who like Harry had grown up with muggles, ended up closing his eyes and jabbing his wand at the list, then picking the subjects that it landed on. Hermione took nobody's advice, but signed up for everything. Harry smiled grimly to himself at the thought of what Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia would say if he tried to discuss his career in wizardry with them. Not that he didn't get any guidance. Percy Weasley was eager to share his experience. Oh, I didn't realize how close I was. I thought I was out of the screen. Sorry. Depends where you want to go, Harry, he said. It's never too early to think about the future. So I would recommend divination. People say muggles is a soft option, but I personally think wizards should have a thorough understanding of the non-magical community, particularly if they're thinking of working in close contact with them. Look at my father. He has to deal with muggle business all the time. My brother Charlie was always more of an outdoor type, so he went for care of magical creatures. Play to your strengths, Harry. But the only thing Harry felt that he was really good at was Quidditch. In the end, he chose the same new subjects as Ron, feeling that if he was rubbish at them, at least he would have someone friendly to help him out. Gryffindor's next Quidditch match would be against Hufflepuff. Wood was insisting on team practices every night after dinner, so that Harry barely had time for anything but Quidditch and homework. However, the training sessions were getting better, or at least drier, and even in the evening before Saturday's match, he went up to his dormitory to drop off his broomstick, feeling Gryffindor's chances for the Quidditch Cup had never been better. But his cheerful mood didn't last long. At the top of the stairs next to the dormitory, he met Neville Longbottom, who was looking frantic. Harry, I don't know who did it. I just found... And that's where we're gonna stop. Okay. Happy Thursday. We'll find out what happens tomorrow. Bye.